Hi guys, welcome to my eyeshadow declutter series. This is part 2. Part 1 was my first draw, which is cheaper palettes, so like Colourpop and Revolution. Part 2 is going to be my more expensive palettes, so I don't know how much I'm going to get rid of. Just so you know, Patch is sleeping and possibly snoring, so I'm sorry about that. Also, I have a wound and my skin is still dry because it's been too hot to moisturize them overnight. Firstly, let's start over here. So my two Huda Beauty £9. This is the Emerald Obsessions one. I love this palette so much. I bought it from TK Maxx. Did I? Or maybe I bought it from Depop for cheaper. But yeah, I really love this palette. While we're here, the Essence Dancing Green. I liked this palette quite a bit, but I feel like they gave the same sort of look, like a grungy green look. So I think I'm going to declutter the Essence one, and because I'd rather reach for this one. So yeah, I'm going to keep my Huda Beauty. And then the Coral Obsessions I bought from TK Maxx. I've been trying to use this a bit more, but I don't know. I just never reach for this palette. I think I am going to declutter it. I think it's really beautiful. I think I'm going to clean up and see if my family want it, because it is quite good quality. I just don't reach for the colours. So my first declutter, or my second declutter actually, my I Like to Mauve It by Essence. Did I like this one? I don't remember. I think there was one that I did not like. I think I was a bit shocked as well because I feel like some of the purples ended up grey. I'm going to declutter this one. I just don't reach for it. So both of these palettes I'm keeping. They're the I Heart Revolution Heartbreakers palettes. So I don't use these anymore. Can you see the dips? I don't use these anymore, but I took them with me to concerts. I definitely took this one to see GOT7, so I'm actually going to keep these for sentimental value, which I don't do often when it comes to eyeshadow, but these are just so special to me. So, and these are very old as well. I went to see GOT7 in 2019, but I'm keeping them because I love them. Okay, I think we need to talk about this one. So this is the Natasha Denona Retro palette. God. Okay, I bought this for myself at the start of the year to treat myself right before my low buy. Okay, let's do some swatching. These shimmers are the same. This shade, I just don't like the formula. It makes me feel a bit queasy. Every time I've tried to use this palette, I have not been able to make a look that looks good. I feel like the formula is really bad. I know some people adore Natasha Denona, but for the price, no. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to have to work so hard to put eyeshadow on my eyes that I spent over £60 on. Does that make sense? Like, I can spend £15 on Beauty Bay and have a look in like 2 minutes. So I'm gonna clean this up and declutter it, and I'm literally trying not to cry. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's like, it takes a lot for me to spend money, and I just feel so disgusting if I don't like what I bought. Anyway, let's talk about another palette that I don't use. I really like the colour story. I've seen so many beautiful looks with it. I think honestly what I'm going to do, just swatching those mattes, I'm going to keep it and I'm going to focus on the mattes somehow. Like, even if I don't use the all the shades, I'm going to focus on the mattes for different things. Like, I'll just put that in my crease and then cover it with something else. Oh, is that bad? I'm going to keep it. My Too Faced Pumpkin Spice. Okay, so I love the colour story. Oh, I love the colour story. I don't reach for this as much as I should, but I'm going to keep it because I just love this colour story. I think it's beautiful. It reminds me of my favourite time of the year. I'm keeping it. I think it's really beautiful. It's my only Too Faced palette as well. Okay, so I don't support ABH anymore. This palette I like. It's not my favourite formula. I don't think it's worth the hype. Like the brand in general, I don't think they're worth it. I'm going to keep this because I have it. I've had 3 eyeshadow palettes from ABH before and I've hated all of them apart from this one. So I'm going to keep this one. But this one I am decluttering. So I love Paulina. She loves this palette, or used to. She loved this palette for Barb. For me, Barb isn't really that special. I don't know. It's beautiful, but it's not like super crazy. It doesn't make me feel like the Beauty Bay Earthy palette does. The shimmers in there. So it also has 2 glitters, which I don't use glitters at all anymore. Or I never have actually. I hate the packaging, like the glitter. So I'm going to declutter Amrezy. Let's talk about this one. So this was my first high-end palette and my parents got it for me for Christmas a couple of years back. I didn't use it much and then I brought it into like a 1 palette 1 week series I did last year, and beautiful. I adore this palette. It's my favourite. Like, oh, it means a lot to me, and also it's beautiful. So I'm keeping this, obviously. I just cannot get over how beautiful the shimmers are in this. Again, it's not my favourite formula, but it's still beautiful. So I'm keeping that. My Sigma Enchanted. This, by the way, I want to stick over the mirror because I never use the mirrors and palettes and it's beautiful. But yeah, the actual palette is also beautiful. I wanted this for a very long time. It is stunning. The mattes blend like butter. The shimmers are really pretty. Again, though, not my favourite formula, but they are beautiful. And it gives very soft looks that can also be very like grungy. Deepened up quite a lot with these shades, but yeah, I really like this palette. I think it's beautiful. I really like Sigma formula. I would love to get some more of their palettes. This is my Hello Berlin Essence palette. I'm so sorry. I think the colour story is beautiful. I never reach for it. And I think I'm going to declutter it just in case my family, my sister or my brother's fiance will like it. But I really like this palette. I really love the colour story. I think it's really pretty. And it might be a good like travel one because it's cheaper and thinner. So yeah, I'm going to declutter that, but not because it's bad. So this Zoeva Aristo, I think it's called, palette. This is like my favourite colour story that they've come out with. I really rate this colour story. Formula, again, isn't my favourite. This palette kind of means a lot to me, but I think I might declutter it because I never reach for it. But I really love this colour story. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, I'm going to declutter it because I have so many mattes I need to use and work on in my Colourpop palettes alone, let alone everything else. So I'm going to declutter this, but I do like this palette. This palette, I had the alarm set for when it was on sale, like when it was released, and I didn't buy it because the colour story did not scream by me. And I love this palette so much. So I bought it because of Paulina again. She is always talking about this palette, the formula. The shimmers alone are worth it. The mattes can be a bit finicky and fiddly in this palette, but I think it's definitely worth it, especially because they always sell it for like on sale. I really love it. The shimmers are just beautiful. And I think it's definitely worth it. Okay, the Wilderness palette. So this used to be my favourite palette until I got the Earthy palette. This is beautiful. I would definitely travel with this. I know it's a bit bulky for travelling for some people, but for me, I would travel for this with this definitely because it's got all my favourite shades. It's got lime and it's got this. I really love this quad. Is there someone at my door? My neighbour just dropped off some Asian, I'm not sure where from, Asian cucumber. That was so nice. But yeah, basically I'm keeping this palette. I think it's beautiful. I definitely think that if you didn't get that palette, you should definitely get Earthy though, because a lot of the colours are in there, apart from actually I think most of the palettes colours are in there apart from the blues. So keeping this, obviously, it's Beauty Bay. I love this colour story. One of my challenges, was it this year or last year? I think it might have been this year I did them, to just use Beauty Bay for a month. And oh my god, it was the funnest month ever. I adore Beauty Bay. And this colour story is so beautiful. And I can't stop thinking about the cucumber. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I love this. I love the formula. Really good palette. I love that. So we have some big boys and some very small boys. This is the Golden Age 9 colour palette. This is great. I'm keeping this because I took this to see ATs because the shimmers are lovely, and it's like the perfect palette to just take with you anywhere because you've got the basic colours for mattes and you've got the beautiful formula by Beauty Bay for the shimmers, and you don't have to carry around one of their big palettes. So yeah, I definitely am going to keep this one and I really like it. Okay, so this palette is the Unicorn Cosmetics Angel palette. So I bought this because it is stunning and I have hardly used it. I don't even know if I've used it, but it is so beautiful. I am definitely keeping this palette. I think these big shades would be really good for blushes and highlighter. Also, these are like so simple, like color stories that you could just use the duo and be done. Like if you're just feeling so lazy, which like honestly same, I would totally do that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this. I think it's beautiful. I wish the outer packaging looked like the packaging that it came in, like the box where it had cherubs and floral, and it was beautiful. I wish it looked like that, but it doesn't, sadly. But yeah, I really like this palette. This one I super recommend. So this is a Sample Beauty Equalizer palette volume 2. This is before they repackaged it, which I'm happy I got it before because I prefer this packaging. But this palette is so pretty. It's got those like squidgy beautiful shimmers, sort of Beauty Bay style, and it has so many beautiful mattes as well. I think this is such a beautiful palette. I think also I saw this on Paulina's channel. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. Paulina. I think this is a really good palette and I totally recommend it if this is your style, like warm pinky deep tones. I think this palette is beautiful and I'm going to keep it. This one, oh my god, I recommend this so much. I know it is expensive, that's why it took me a while to buy it, but this palette is so stunning. So this is the NYX Ultimate Utopia palette. The shimmers in this are beautiful, like almost lime, like so close to being lime from Beauty Bay. The shimmers are beautiful. The mattes blend so lovely. My favourite is mixing like these tones. Oh, it's just so beautiful. I need to use this more because I adore this palette. Oh, my neighbour's come over with the recipe. Another one I'm not decluttering is my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. My dad bought this for me when I was on my low buy, and I just am so thankful because this is so expensive, but it's one of my favourite palettes. I love this so much. The mattes are beautiful to blend. The shimmers are lovely and textured. I just adore this palette. And this is what I want when I spend, or my dad, whoever spends, lots of money on an eyeshadow palette. I want it to be easy to use and to make me feel good, not to make me feel like I can't do makeup. So yeah, I really love this palette. I wish they weren't so expensive, but yeah, I really love this and it makes me want to try the other bigger Huda Beauty palettes, like the rose quartz one that I totally ripped to shreds on Instagram. I was like, that is ugly. I want it. She's quite intimidating on the front though. Okay, so let's do my 2 Odins Eye palettes. So first of all, the Saga of Freya, I think is how you pronounce it. Chapter 2, Cat with Golden Carriage. But it is beautiful, and again, Odins Eye formula is my favourite, so I'm keeping this. I really love it. I love the colour story. It's gorgeous. This one is the Hummingbird palette with Fancy Face. This one and Judy's one were the ones I bought. I think, again, it's beautiful. It's Odins Eye. Like, the formula is beautiful. Of course it is. Like, it's beautiful. I never reach for this. I think the colour story scares me a little bit because it's so bold, but I'm going to keep it because the formula is beautiful, and if I want bold shimmers, I will definitely reach for this, and I want to try and use this more, even if it's like a companion palette. And then my final palette. So I bought this because of Steph, and I bought this because of one shade. So this is the Nabla Cutie palette in Platinum. This is what it looks like. I used this yesterday actually, and just So this shade is the most beautiful silver I have ever seen in my entire life in any palette ever. It is beautiful. Like, look, one swap, a swap. Like, can we just, this is the one swipe finger. Are you joking? It's beautiful. So that's why I bought this, purely for that one. The other ones are good too, but just like nowhere near the silver level, you know? Still beautiful, but wow. So yeah, I'm keeping this, obviously. I love it, even if I just keep it for the one shade, but I will definitely be able to use the rest of the shades, and I definitely need to. So this is everything we've decluttered in total. So we've got, we have decluttered 17 items across part 1 and part 2. So this is a collection of like some face products and also eyeshadow palettes. Wow, I am so impressed with this. Decluttering is very hard for me, so this is really good. The next plan is to organize my drawers, which I'm not looking forward to, but you know, I'm really proud of this. So thank you guys for chilling with me during this journey. I hope it was fun to watch, and thank you so much for interacting with my videos. It genuinely means so much to me. I hope you're all doing okay, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.